Alright, so this video is a little bit different than stuff that I usually do. I've kind of been thinking, I was like, man, I've shown you guys a lot of stuff, but I've never shown you guys just like a day start to finish. So as you know, like I make videos, we catch crabs, sell crabs, all that kind of stuff, but pretty much from like April till November, my day-to-day looks like what you're about to see. Like Monday through Friday, this is my day job. So I just want to take you guys with me. And it all starts here at the house with an empty truck bed and a freezer full of bait. Now, it has to be done either every morning or every evening. Start loading flats of bait. So right now we're using shrimp heads as bait, so you know, you guys go to the store and you buy that's the tail. But I buy the rest of the shrimp right there and get them shipped in from all over the country to use as crab meat. Getting bait kind of seems like a super simple thing, but during this time of the year, it occupies an unreasonable amount of space in my brain because it's not real easy to get bait. Like, that's one of the things I learned when I started crabbing was you got to know the right people, and it's a constant kind of like it's a constant battle to continue to get bait. We use a lot of this stuff. I mean, we're using 2,000 pounds of bait a week. It's not easy to find 2,000 pounds of shrimp heads every single week consistently. Sometimes I load all the stuff the night before, but sometimes you gotta do it in the morning. Like those small things of bait, if you load them the night before, they defrost, and then they all fall apart in the truck. So I try to at least stage everything where I won't forget it. But like we're going crabbing, but I got other guys coming to build crab pots today. So just letting you guys into my head for the day, into my world, you know. Just saw that, I was like, all right, well, picked up hog rings, gotta let that guy know where these are. I got bait, I got fuel, I got crates, I got liners for the winder. So I just remembered this morning, you know, you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, holy crap, I forgot something. I remembered in the middle of the night that the discs, the liner discs on my winder on the boat are slipping. So had to go dig those out of the basement this morning. Run down the mental checklist. Ooh, I gotta check the fridge, make sure the fridge is still running. Yeah. See, yep, still running. Sweet. All right, head to the marina. I'm one of those people that's just like chronically late. But I'm usually not like, I'm never like an hour late. I'm always like, I would say 5 to 8 minutes late usually, because I always get up on time, I'm good to go, but like, I'm always forgetting something. That's my problem. And then I remember, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta do it, and then like, well, it looks bad if I'm late, so then I'm rushing. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's just my life cycle. It's just the way it works, I guess. It is what it is. I try to get the whole cup of coffee down before I get to the marina as well. my way to work, well, to the marina, I'm always just running down like the mental checklist. All right, did you remember everything? You remember all the things you have to do today? I'm trying to go through all the things in my head that are like need to happen in order to catch crabs, and then usually by the time I'm passing like Angels, the local grocery joint, I'm thinking of tier 2 things, you know, like, okay, who do I need to call today? What deals need attention? What things need time after work? And then by the time I get to the marina, I've forgot all the things I started with. Just go crabbing. It's kind of the beauty of crabbing is that sometimes it's so much work you can't really do anything but think about what's right in front of your face. A lot of people are always asking, like, what time do you start crabbing? Well, usually we start a little earlier than now. It's right 5:37 right now. When we have those stupid hot days like we had a couple weeks ago, it was like over 100 every day. We're starting at like 4 a.m. Now, I don't know, we're just starting a little bit later here. Some of my helpers some of them work like night shift places, so they don't have a lot of turnaround time. So they need to start a little bit later. But today, I just been tired. It's been hot, super hot. I'm telling you, the heat just takes it out of you. And then when it's 100 outside and the wind's blowing and it's rough, that just wears you out twice as bad. I mean, I don't know what the deal is. I feel like when I was, I'm not that old, I'm 29, but I feel like when I was 18, 19, 20, I could go all day and night, but now, you start at 4, you have a really rough day and it's hot out. By the time you get back, do all the things you gotta do, get all the crabs put up, and whatever else, you're like, I'm just toasted. I went to bed at 7:30 last night. 29 years old. I'm a grown man. I went to bed at 7:30. I was asleep by 8. It was great. I hope I can do it again tonight. Here's a local grocery store, so it's about the time for me to forget all the things I started thinking about this morning and move on to something else that I'll forget by the time I get to the boat. For example, putting air in my front left tire. You can see if I let go of the wheel, it will kill us all shortly. So you're gonna drive like this, which it's a Ford, so it's just kind of the way it is. But keep forgetting to put air in the tire. There's still a 1/4-inch like stainless lag sticking out of that front left wheel. But we don't drive her far. She's not. Backing down the marina, and this is about the time that I start getting anxious about turning the corner to see if all of my helpers have showed up today. Oh, we got 1, we got 2. Let's see. I got faith in the 3rd. We'll see. Oh, yes. Beautiful. 3 for 3. Can't beat that. Not so bad. It's a good way to start a day. You see anything, but, Yeah, that window doesn't work. Valiant effort. I will say, I have been extremely fortunate this year to have a very good crew that has been showing up and doing their job and doing it well. They're young. They're like 17. They're all 17 and 18, but I do not take it for granted because a lot of times, like every year, one of my biggest stressors is help. Like trying to find decent help, trying to make sure they show up. Just like, I'm telling you, it's hard to find good help. So when you do not take it for granted. It's definitely something I'm consider myself very fortunate for this year. All right, let's see the guys. Hey, down.
What's up, man?
We got Ty behind the camera, by the way, today, so I'll introduce. Guys who've never met Ty, we'll introduce him. This is AJ. This is Ty behind the camera. AJ, Ethan, Tyler.
What's up, guys?
Look at this, it's like a well-oiled machine. Pull up, we're loading ice in the cooler. We use that for slushing the crabs. So like we shake the crabs into a bucket of ice basically so they don't kill each other. And we're gonna load bait out of the truck, grab fuel out of the truck, put some in the boat, bring some with us. We're ready to rock. These are those liners I was talking about. They're like, it's like a wear item, but they go inside in the winder and they wear out all the time. I gotta replace them pretty frequently. Put hydraulic fluid in the boat. So every morning I do salt crabs. These are my salt crab tanks. Wonder why they're so expensive. It's because you're going to watch me throw over about a dozen live crabs because they shed out on the salt crabs, but since I didn't get up at 2 a.m. and come down here and check them, they got too hard to sell the salt crab. I wonder why they're so expensive. It's because the yield is not very good on salt. And they've been screwing me because they've been all the shit in the yeah. I've been stacking all week. Really? Giant thing. It's too hard. Josh never had to play anymore. I didn't. All that, we got one. It's crazy. See this? See all this water in the back here? See how the boat is actively sinking? Not to be alarmed. Hopefully I don't have that problem in the new boat. We'll be doing big things with a little boat out here. Alright. Ready to rock? Yeah. Pretty sure. Alright. Are we off on the back? Yes. AJ's first day back. in I don't know, a week. The little fella's been on vacation. Well, one of the only other guys I buy crabs from is out crabbing, so that's a good sign. I don't buy a lot of crabs for the crab stand, but if I do, I buy them from local guys. They're all Maryland's for sure, and trust me, you're like, how do we know he sells all Maryland's? I don't know. I don't know how to prove it to you, except for that it is a way bigger headache to sell all Maryland crabs than it is to sell Louisiana's. Like, I want to sell Maryland crabs. I want to buy them from local guys, and it's 10 times the headache and inconsistency, but the way it is, I guess, if you want to sell actual Maryland's, from a business standpoint, totally understand why people sell crabs from wherever they can get them, because it's a chore trying to get them from here. And then one day they'll show up with 1 bushel of crabs, the next day they'll show up with 10 bushels of crabs. And the problem is when they have 10, it's usually, I got 20, you know? And then we can't move. It's my windshield wiper, by the way. Super fancy. I have new wipers, but like the little arm is rusted onto the shaft, and so of course, like everything else in crabbing, you gotta fight it. So I just haven't had an entire day to dedicate towards fixing my windshield wipers. The squeegee from the gas station seems to work just fine. Now that we're on the boat, already headed out, it's probably a good time to check the weather for the day. And make sure we're not going to get our butts totally kicked. It's blowing, we're going. Time you're going to hit a traffic jam here is at between 4 and 6 a.m. Got charter boats going out. There's 3 other crabbers come out of this river. Other than that, generally pretty pleasant ride in the morning. On my corner office here, you know. Anytime you come in here and you're smiling and laughing, I know that you've done
helping me as much as I'm helping them get through the grind. Like, I'm telling you, I've learned over the years, doing this 11 years, keeping morale on the boat up is actually very important. Like, it can make or break your life when you're this invested in it. Like, whatever it is that you got to do or let them do to keep morale, it's worth doing a lot of times. You know, say you got one bad guy or like whatever, you couple that with a tank of water that's 150 degrees behind you, fishing 500 crab pots, getting stung by jellyfish, and sweating your butt off when it's 110, it can make life miserable fast. So, unfortunate that they keep it a little silly around here. See, look at it. That's suspicious. Ain't nobody that excited to be at work on a crab boat at 6 a.m. unless they got something in store. Hey, let's turn the tank and the burner on. Alright. Come on. Hey, I'll take it. I've had crews that were freaking already angry and wanted to go home and drunk by the time we got here. So I'll take this any day. Whatever. So, oh my God. They're a mess. So, you know, my job obviously is crabbing, right? But I mean, it's no secret that, you know, a lot of what I do now also has to do with social media. Obviously, we're shooting stuff, trying to come up with video ideas and all kinds of stuff. You guys crack me up, dude. I'm telling you. Like I said, they're young. They're like 17, 18. It's like they keep it light. You know what I mean? Anyway, you know, pretty much my day to day when it comes to crabbing is pretty typical of like any other crabber, but there's also a lot of things that are like a little bit unique to my particular situation because, you know, we are catching crabs, right, Monday through Friday, and then we're selling crabs Saturday and Sunday, and then we're putting out 2 to 6 short form videos a week, plus one long form video that's between 20 minutes and an hour long every single week. And there's only one of each, and it's basically 3 jobs. So like, you might hear me talk about things or say things throughout the day that are like, okay, maybe a normal crabber doesn't have to deal with that, but like, I'm letting you guys into my world, not, you know, and I'm going to just show it how it is and let you know what's on my mind. Like, a lot of times on the ride out or the ride in, that's when I'm like, you know, I'm compiling footage that I took that day, I'm uploading it to wherever it needs to go, I'm doing some editing here and there on my phone, I'm trying to like, I'm writing down ideas for videos, you know, I'm trying to like, a lot of times I have all my work calls on the ride home, especially today, we have a little bit longer ride, I always have my list of phone calls, I'm like, reviewing contracts, like, you know, we're literally, it's like, we call it dark to dark working here in the summertime. It's 7 days a week, and, you know, the grind don't stop. Whether, like I said, we're hauling gear, catching crabs, or doing anything that surrounds that or making videos. So like I said, I'm gonna just show you my world. We're almost ready. Tell them to get ready, and we gotta check the tide, figure out which way the tide's going, and depending on which way the tide's going, that'll determine where we start our day. I try to always like work with the tide and then have it kind of bring us home, you know, so that by the time we finish, we're a little closer to home than we started. See, we usually fish at least one tide switch a day, so like whatever the tide is running, when we get down here, by the end of the day, it'll usually typically be running the other way. So like down here on Sandy Point, I have certain gear that I want to fish on like I want to fish it on an incoming tide. So in the morning, if I come down and we have an incoming tide, I'll start at that end of the gear to make sure I get a fish. But if we come down, we have an outgoing tide, I'll start on the other end, and I'll work my way hopefully by the time we get there, the tide is doing what I want it to. Just trying to, like, you know, make it efficient. Everything about crabbing on a commercial scale is kind of like efficiency dependent, you know. You want to make sure you're not doing stuff twice. We'll see. We'll get ready to haul here in a minute. We'll be getting everything ready. And I'll kind of give you guys a little rundown, like when we start hauling. I'll kind of give you a rundown of like the different jobs on the boat, kind of how it works, just for the people that don't know. It's just easier to kind of, I'm not going to explain it to you now, but it's just going to be easier for you guys to just like see it, and I'll explain it, I guess, as we're doing it.
Like we got an incoming tide, which is good. I like to start the day fishing the stuff near the bridge because later in the day you get more people that are like fishing down here and stuff, and they're just kind of like in the way. So it's nice to get down here and get it over with. Check this out. I got me a brand new set of gloves. It's one of my my little pleasures that keeps me going. A new, nice, fresh set of gloves. I've been rocking the same set the whole season so far. I said, you know what? I've done more holes through the other ones. I think it's time to treat yourself. Nice new set of gloves. These are the Atlas Fleece 481s in large. That's what I use. People are always asking what kind of gloves I use. These are them. You can get them off of like I get them from like Hamilton Marine or something like that. That or I buy them at the fishing show. They're a lot cheaper. Alright, I guess I'll give you guys kind of like I'll give you a rundown of every job on the boat, I guess, and kind of like who's doing it right now. You know, I'll give you a little good introduction to the guys, too. I guess we should start from the very beginning, right? Just for a little making the filter shop so much harder. Context. So, I fish what's called underwater lines, which means I have 25 pots connected to one line. So, on each end is a buoy called a hawk, and they have a flag on them. And that's how you can tell, you know, where your stuff is. So, pick up the hawk, put it on this winder. There's a foot pedal, pulls the line in. As the pots come up, they'll have like a lead with snap gear. And I'll undo that off the main line. We're putting the main line into this barrel. A lot of crab. They're all junked. And then all the loops that the snap gear is attached to, I stack in order on this pole. And so that's like when we go to set the pots back, we'll put them all on the boat. We go to set them back, they're all in the right order to go out of the boat in the same order. There's CJ there, he's going to work right now. So that's the boat over there that I started working on, that I started crabbing on when I was like 12. So Captain CJ, and worked. We came on and off till I was 18, and then I started my own deal on my own boat. Not this boat, different boat.
the crab and have them go get a job on a boat. Don't invest a penny. Go get a job on a boat and see if you actually like doing it. When I say go get a job on a boat, like if you're interested in actually making it your career, work on the boat, but then like do everything the captain does. In terms of like, when you get back, go help him load bait, go pick up bait, go to the restaurant where he drops crabs off, you know, like grind it out every day for free. Even if he ain't gonna pay you, just go do it. That's what I did with CJ. It's like showing up on the boat and doing a job is one thing, but like crabbing, the whole business of it is a whole other thing. Anyway, underwater lines, 25 pots on a line, snap gear, I unclip it, stack the loop, put the line into the barrel. And the first thing that happens, the pot goes over the rail, it goes to what's called the shaker, okay? That's AJ right now. AJ shakes, Tyler shakes. I've been trying to get Ethan on the rail to shake a little more. Right, Ethan? Yep. What he wants. AJ shakes the crabs out into that tank full of cold water, puts new bait in the pot, and then drops it into this tank. That's where like the second job comes in, right? So the second job is what Ethan's doing. We call that a stacker. Okay. Pretty evident what he does. But he's in charge of stacking the crab pots on the boat, making sure they're going to be stacked correctly so that we can set them back easily and quickly. And this tank of water is like, it's very high, it's like 145 degrees. This is the most important thing on the boat, arguably. That tank like makes or breaks whether I go to work that day. Because this thing cleans the crab pots, alright? So when you leave steel cages on the bottom, you know, when it's this hot out, everything's going to start growing. All kinds of, like, see this stuff on the line, this brown fuzzy stuff, and hair, and sponge, and slime. And shockingly enough, crabs do not like that. You know, they want to, we try to keep our gear nice and clean, so it's also easier for us to work if it's clean. So that pot sits in that tank as long as it can. Then Ethan picks it up, stacks them 3 high, pushes them to the back of the boat. See, like all this junk, we call that hair. It's actually a type of coral. Technically a type of coral, so allegedly. No marine biologist, but that will totally cover the pot, every inch of that stuff, and you leave this pot sit for 6 or 7 days without removing it. Let me see a couple of them crabs real quick. See how the crabs are like real slow? They're not dead, they're just cold from the ice. But we're checking them, so we'll squeeze them up under the shell and like that. And you see how he's real squishy like that, and he's kind of white on his belly. He's a light crab, and we can keep them, but I throw them back a lot of times. We'll keep some, but they're not worth near as much. They're not worth near as much as a hard crab, so I try to like, the whole thing with crabbing is you want to try to catch crabs that will worth the most amount of money and sell them, especially selling your own. So it's a little counterproductive to kill a whole load of crabs that are worth $2 a piece when you can let them throw them back and catch them again, and they're worth $6 a piece, you know. But, I mean, I don't fault guys that keep them all. You got to. I mean, some guys they don't sell their own. They get money for them. It is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do. I get it. See, it's pretty much an assembly line. That's the idea. I was a big fan of Henry Ford when I was younger. He kind of invented the assembly line. And you want interchangeable parts. And that means people too. You know, you want to be able to have almost anybody be able to do the job. Sometimes pots have 20 crabs, and sometimes pots have 0 crabs. That's the way it is. Like that pot looks awesome. Be like super sick, but there's a lot of those crabs are light crabs and young. So it's a great sign to like see a bunch of crabs in the pot, because in another week or two they're going to be hard enough to keep. It also means a lot of work to go through all the crabs. Tyler, do we have any like big giant jumbo females too? Yeah, put them aside, like just those massive ones. Luke.
Like these were bigger.
Big. I know you know how to pin down a big girl.
I know. Good.
Setting back is like arguably probably one of the most important things, just making sure you're getting it right, because you don't want the pots going down sideways and whatever else. So it takes a little experience to get her right. AJ's been helping me a long time now. Like 13 when he started helping. It's a funny story. He's heard it a million times because I tell people because they're funny. But AJ's got a brother named Tyler, and I was looking for help. And I thought I had texted Tyler, who's a little bit older, not much, just a little bit older. And I got their phone numbers mixed up. I showed him to the dock, and there's this kid standing on the pier, and I was like, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm AJ." Oh man, well, he's already here, so, and he ain't left. He's 17 now, so helped me a while, but that's like the age that I started. He's kind of my right-hand guy, honestly. Nice spot. See, grabbing is pretty repetitive. We literally do the same thing 500 times a day, but it's the way it works. But the other cool thing about crabbing is the best and the worst thing is that you never know what to expect. It's like literally, we're pulling 500 pots a day, and you never know what you're going to catch. Like, seen and caught some wild stuff over the years. And you never know what's going to happen. You know, there's a lot of variables here, so. Like I said, it's the best and worst. There's never a boring day, but sometimes it's because something's going horribly wrong. So, yeah, you see that little bump right there on the shell? It ought to look like that, no bump. But like I said, you know, the way we grade crabs by quality is by squeezing them, and then you can see how hard their shell is. Basically, the harder the shell, the higher the quality of the crab. But a lot of these crabs this time of year, they've been caught and thrown back. So this crab looks like it either got pinched when it was a soft crab and then the shell got hard around the wound, or somebody squeezed the shell and cracked it and it healed back up. So crabs are resilient. That's pretty neat. Look at that. Catch a dozen or so of these here. He's got a white claw. See that? Part of the bottom of that claw is white. Which is pretty small for her back. Yeah, it's not actually albinism. It's not like an albino crab. It's called leucism. The crab is partially leucistic, they call it, which is like kind of like albinism, but not a total lack of pigment. I made some cake pops last night. I brought them pineapple and then strawberry. No, I ate all that. Sorry. I like the sprinkles on junk. Squishy, he's light. Throw him back. Seems wrong, but what it takes to sell higher quality product. Guys are XLs. This crab here is what we call a peeler crab. So you see how this immature female, her apron is the shape of a pyramid, and when it gets that purple color, if you look on that swim fin, you can see that orange line. That means that she's going to shed into a soft crab here pretty soon. So we can keep these. They only have to be 3 inches to keep. Yeah, 3 inches is huge. And then those are the crabs that we'll put in our shedding tanks and shed into soft crabs. All the stuff growing on this pot, that hair and all. That's the stuff that'll cover the entire pot, but like way thicker if you don't clean it. What is it? Yeah, I've seen that too. Those are the 2 dirtiest pots in the whole rig. Actually, right now. Start to feel that tide switching under the boat. Can you check on that hose back there? Make sure that thing's out of the boat. Was it out the back? Little boat problems.
Luke, this right isn't. It's not above the water.
Right behind you? Yeah. Yeah, so my boat, really most work boats are what they call self-bailing, which means you can dump a bucket of water on the deck and it'll run out the back because the deck of the boat sits higher than the water line. But this boat usually does that, but when we have all the gear, we got 800 pounds of water up front, we got bait and crabs and whatever else. The little southern girl sits low. It makes me nervous. But everything is sealed back there, so it's like you can get water back there and it's not gonna sink the boat, but it's never great to look back and see like 3 inches of water in the back on the back deck. That was my #1 requirement for a new boat. Has a taller deck. I'm actually raising the deck height in the new boat, the Desperado, the one that we're building, so that I don't have that problem any longer. See, like the difference between that crab and this crab. This one's a heavy crab. This is a light crab. And it's kind of funny, everybody thinks we're referring to actual size or a weight when we say light or heavy. But what we mean, it's almost more referring to the color of the crab. So this light crab, lighter color, he doesn't have that dark brown rusty belly and all that. And you just gotta squeeze them. A lot of times they'll be nice, good crabs. They're full inside, you just gotta, gotta squeeze.
What name of this one? Double check it.
Guy's just like, he'll go right after he puts the weights back down.
My boy said,
and then I'm like, he's like,
you just gotta rep it out and max out on every set.
He's like,
Why can't I do the same weight again? It's already worked out, bro. Really?
You know my buddy Jake?
Last year making me a ham and cheese or peanut butter and jelly for lunch.
Nope.
It says the guys that spend $20 at the gas station every morning. Now they're in economics.
Hey, guess what? I didn't have nothing for lunch today, so I had to bring back the good old days. Pack me my cheese and Dorito sandwich.
I only paid $6 this morning for a little ham and cheese sandwich.
What do you bring for lunch, Luke?
I got work for lunch. I mean, I bring like some snacks here and there. I don't bring much for lunch. I don't really like to eat while I'm working. If
He's
I
trying
do,
to
then
sound
I'll like, no, it's not good. I should eat, but I don't know. The heat is just like, I feel like if I eat too much, I get slow. You know what I mean? I don't want to do anything, so I'll eat like, granola bars, that kind of stuff I can eat in between rows.
Eating makes me feel worse.
Yeah, sometimes you eat, you're like, try to eat something. I try to eat a little something in the morning, and then I eat on the ride home. Usually. In my office.
Grandpa here behind. The only one I can see out of it.
Not a blind guy shaking pops. That's all right.
I can see it.
Bert. What's up?
Yeah.
Can't really see.
Yeah, if I didn't have all the freckles, I would look like a real dirtball. Like, as you can see, summertime crab is a dirty gig. Come on. Turn right around and fish the other, but it appears that I'm missing a hawk. Somebody ran over one of my buoys, so we got to go pick it up on the opposite end of what we should be, fish it down, replace the hawk, and set it back, and then run back and start fishing the way of the tide. So it's just what happens down here. A lot of boat traffic. Things get run over.
Ham and cheddar slider, ham and cheddar slider.
Talking about the blind guy.
Ropo, baby. Get my big butt right here.
Luke showers with Pantene. But I use a water right, Luke?
What?
Shower.
Yep. You know that? What's that thing called that you use in the shower with a big sponge looking thing? What's that called? A loofah. Dude, I like using those things. I used to poop before a shower.
I used to scrub brush when I worked with wash the body. Yeah, there's a good chance it's going to be a pretty long video, but we work long days, so just kind of give you an idea of the grind of it. Yeah. Day in the life of AJ being the best Yeah, if you notice, AJ's right arm is a lot longer than his left, and it's from him reaching around and patting himself on the back all day. Dude, I'm employee of the month. 11 years running, I ain't missed a day yet.
Yeah, the way for this dude keep
So those plates that I brought with me this morning, those liners, glad I grabbed them because now my line is slipping on the winder. So I got to replace one on the fly here. Glad it's not like blowing 70, blowing 20 miles an hour wind when I'm trying to do this. Ideally, you do this at the dock, but also got to get the most out of your liner. So generally, end up doing it here. That liner, how it's all wore out. In reality, I can use this liner a little more, but for the sake of time out here, swap it out for a new one. See, so the way this works is that line goes over there under the fair lead, and then it pinches the line in between these two discs, and then this is called a knife that spits the line out and down the chute. But these are liners, they're wear items. I'll probably use them, I don't know, set every couple weeks, depends on the bottom. If I'm on like super sandy, nasty bottom, you'll use a lot more because it'll wear it out. Adjustment's a little off on this. I had to rebuild this winder the other day, like the new hub and everything. My adjustment is a little bit off, and it's making the line shoot out the side. It's that and the knife, but I never think about it until I'm out here hauling it and spitting the line out. Good for a little while, at least so I get back to the dock and fix it right. Try to keep as many spare parts on here as I can, but weight is always an issue with boats. Bring what you can bring. This is a sponge crab, so it's a pregnant female. So that is what the eggs look like, and it's kind of interesting how it works. So basically, a female crab will only shed from an immature to a mature female once in its life, and then once it becomes a mature female, it'll actually never shed again. So like a mature female crab will never get any bigger than when you catch her. But they also only breed one time, like do the deed, you know, one time in their life, and that's when they go from being an immature to a mature female. So those little peeler crabs we were talking about earlier that are going to turn into soft crabs, the immature female peeler crabs will get picked up by a big dominant male crab, and the male crab will hold the immature female with her legs under her shell until she sheds into a mature female soft crab. All right, you follow? After she's a mature female soft crab, he will breed her as when she's a soft crab, and he'll carry her around on his belly for another couple days until her shell is hard enough that she can kind of fend for herself. Then he's gonna dump her and go try to find another one, you know? And then she's gonna be stuck with anywhere from 2 to 8 million babies to take care of. So she's gonna hold this sponge. Well, all right, so she's then going to, once she gets hard, she's gonna sponge up, right? Get this big, usually it's a bright orange sponge of eggs on the bottom. The eggs will last about 2 weeks on her belly, and then they'll fall off as little larvae, crab larvae, like you can barely even see them. Once it's a crab larva, that crab is going to change shapes about 20 different times before it even starts to look like a crab, all right? And then it's going to be a crab half the size of your pinky nail, and they're going to shed every couple days, and as they get bigger, they shed less and less frequently. A big, you know, you get a 5-inch male crab, he's going to shed every 3 weeks or something like that. But anyway, these sponges, when they start out, they're bright orange. But then as the eggs stay on her longer, they get darker and darker, and then eventually they fall off and turn into larvae. But we can't keep these in Maryland, which I don't think is a bad thing. If they have a sponge, we got to throw them back. Virginia, they do let them keep them, but it's a lot different fishery down there, and I don't know enough about it, the sponge crab fishery, to really speak on it. But anyway, that's the future right there. Those are next year's crabs, or crabs for 2 years from now. And this is a pretty small sponge, but like I said, they have anywhere from 2 to 8 million eggs, and the survival rate is about 1 in a million. So she'll sponge a bunch of times in her life until she kind of dies of old age, honestly. And because they can't shed their shell, again, you know, if she loses her legs or her claws or something, it could be the end of her. But pretty neat. It's the future. That last pass of the day. It's always a little bit of a relief, you know. I'm never truly relieved till we're back at the dock and the crabs are in the fridge. It's always nice. Lose track of time out here. It's it can become a little monotonous. Coming up. Last part of the day. Till tomorrow. Get the bait, boy. I should call it. Full crates.
I like the bend lids.
See. Oh God. Let's scare you every single time. Great. It's gonna be super heavy. Quite a few today.
Finger. Burns females.
Probably got about 17 bushel though. Sure. Crates, those pack crates are definitely 60 pounds.
You got them. You got to pack them in.
Checking all my peelers to make sure they are actually peelers, because if you get them in there and they're what we call a white sign, or they're like a week out from shedding, then they'll go and kill all the other peelers, and then they'll eat all the soft crabs. looks of it. Probably have to come back down a couple more times today and check soft crabs. This one got a white ring there, and her apron doesn't have a lot of color. But like this one, got a lot more color, and that ring is red. That means she's probably going to shed tonight or tomorrow morning. But this one, if I put her in there, she go eating all the other ones. A lot of busters. Hopefully they make it. Cleaned it 3 days ago, but got dirty. Well, another day crabbing, I guess. It's pretty good, actually. We caught quite a few crabs. It was sight for sore eyes. Good to see, but I have to get these crabs back to the house, loaded and labeled in the fridge, ready for the weekend. And we got to get everything loaded up for tomorrow. So we're going to load bait, and I got to come back down to the boat and put a new water pump in. That one's been giving me some trouble, and I have a whole other pump to put in, and I've just been putting it off. Not wanting to do it, but it's better to do it now. Screwed later, I guess. First part of the day, almost done. More help than I've ever had.
What's up,
to
man?
Load crabs.
You don't need to wash that.
Imagine it being about 110 index and jellyfish everywhere. That's Central Virginia. But I don't remember.
We get back to the dock, grab the only 2 gas tanks we have left, fills up the boat and sits in a straw. I unloaded those.
Lights. I zip tied on the top. I think so, yeah. I zip tied the lights.
Those are twos, you got one.
Twos.
Two twos.
Both of these are twos?
Both those are twos.
A lot of twos.
Another two.
Like ones.
Yeah, those are ones.
Partial. Look like ones. Twos. That's it?
Yeah.
So these are all lights, huh?
Yep. God damn. Where's those soft grabs?
That's a good day.
Yeah, pretty good day.
We were moving quick too. We started at 5:30.
Yep.
Start grabbing it by then?
Well, that's the day crabbing, I guess. I just gotta load more bait, go back down to the boat, and fix the boat for tomorrow. So, you guys basically seen it. It's my day today, Monday through Friday. Don't forget, if you guys subscribe, we're sending a full box of Jimmy's Famous Seafood, crab cakes, chips, seasoning, soup, you name it, to one of you guys that subscribed and drops a comment every single month. When we hit 1 million subscribers, we're giving away a brand new boat. So definitely look into that. It's gonna be awesome. Appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys next Friday at 8 a.m.